The Crime and Chaos podcast features discussions and investigations that may include mature themes and content not suitable for listeners under the age of 18. Our episodes often present opinion-based investigations, and some names may be changed to protect the identities. Listener discretion is advised. And if you enjoy what you hear on Crime and Chaos, please take a moment to like and subscribe to our podcast. Your support helps us reach more listeners and continue bringing the content that you love. And don't forget to rate us. Your feedback is invaluable and helps us improve. Join our community and stay updated on our latest episodes. Thank you for listening.
Fancy meeting you here.
Fancy.
What you doing?
Talking to you, duh, silly goose.
Silly.
Silly.
Debut the new hair. We loves it. We loves it.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it was about damn time. I was looking like freaking Helga.
Helga.
Oh, no. It wasn't Helga. Miss Trunchbull.
Oh, no. Never Miss Trunchbull.
You know how that meme always says, like, girls, when they do, like, the messy bun, and they have, like, this gorgeous girl with, like, a messy bun, and then there's, like, Miss Trunchbull, me with a bun. That's exactly how I looked. And then I went live on TikTok, right, for the very first time, and I had my hair in, like, a little clip, and somebody goes, "You're thinning."
Someone said that to you?
Yeah.
They're wrongly. That's a lie.
So I was really self-conscious.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh,
I don't know if I have okay, let's be real. I do have a thick skin. But I'm like, when it comes to my hair is my baby. It's always been my baby. I've always been so proud of my hair. But when somebody comes for my hair, the gloves come off and I'm fighting dirty.
Yeah. Did you block them? I would have blocked them.
No, because their name literally was Fat Barbie. I got trolled by somebody's
By Fat Barbie.
by Fat Barbie.
Daggone.
So I'm like, why is this even bothering me?
My goodness.
Whatever. I'm over it.
We don't need that in 2025. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Well, we recorded on New Year's. No, it was. Wait, was it New Year's?
We recorded on New Year's Eve and pushed it out the first day of 2025.
Okay, so there we go.
So Happy New Year's to us, but our listeners, they've already been with us.
Yeah, so Happy New Year's, Krista.
Happy New Year. Hey, welcome to Crime and Chaos.
Yeah, welcome. Are you ready for the shit show?
I am, and I'm excited because this is murder, kidnapping, and paranormal.
Right? Literally, it's crime and chaos.
Yeah, and we have a fun chaos segment at the end.
Okay,
I think that's my favorite parts.
Yeah, but can I say this? I don't know if I would be so excited if we didn't have video.
I know. The video really does.
Yeah, because if we were just, I mean, our viewers that just listen to us on the podcast, we apologize for this last segment. Like, you guys can just, like, be done after, because you're just going to think that we need a 5-day stay at a Grippy Sock hotel.
Yeah, Grippy Sock.
Grippy Sock.
Sure. Well, before we head to the insane asylum, let's journey out. Hey, we're in a new state.
We are in a new state.
And we're in a new country.
Yes, France.
France.
Paris.
Oui, oui.
Je t'aime. Wait, isn't that how, is that? I don't know. I'm not even gonna
any of that. But
I'm not trying to get canceled for trying to speak French.
It's too soon. Too soon to get canceled. But yeah, so we are now French, and also we are in a new state. So we've done really good. We've been covering states just as we planned, and now we're in the state of New Jersey.
New Jersey.
You ever been?
Yes.
I've
drove through. So New Jersey has. So okay, I lied. So remember how I told you, like, Rhode Island? Like, I've been there. Like,
yep.
X's family, right? So during that time going to see that family, we were driving through New Jersey and we got sideswiped. So I can't remember what city it was. Like it was like a long thing. It was like 5 hours that we were there trying to figure out filing a police report. It was a car rental, so that made it even longer.
Okay.
And their people had to come out to assess the damage. So it was just a long time. So we ended up getting, they call subs grinders.
Oh, yeah. 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 Uh-huh.
Literally the best sub in my life. I don't know if it was because I was in New Jersey and I was just like new experience eating a grinder.
I believe it was probably that good.
It was pastrami.
Something else we both love about New Jersey is Jersey Shore.
Duh. Okay, listen. When I no longer have Twitter, I refuse to call it X.
That one, yeah.
Yeah, that one. I refuse to call it that. So when I had Twitter, I tweeted Snooki and Dina. I was like, oh my God, I want to be a meatball. And she liked it. And she was like, come on, mama. And I was like, they tweeted me back. So officially, guess what, guys? I'm a meatball. Fun fact.
Meatballs. I love it.
Meatballs. And when I was younger, juice heads. Who didn't love juice heads as a teenage girl?
They really shaped us. They
They
still are.
Listen, my hair, let's be real.
Very New Jersey.
Very New Jersey.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Oh,
let's get
God.
rolling. Where are
All
you
right.
taking us?
I am taking you to the Union Hotel.
Union Hotel. Check.
So originally, Union Hotel was, okay, so I should say it was like Flemington. Okay.
Flemington, New Jersey. Yep, I'm
Yes.
there. I see it.
Yes. So it's Flemington, New Jersey, and the Union Hotel was an attraction for the high society. The Union Hotel was a restaurant and not only catered to the wealthy, but to ghost and poltergeists.
What?
What? So the hotel with a red brick facade. So we are bringing visuals now. It's a red brick facade, a French style roof, and a 2-story tall porch, ma'am.
It's giving New Orleans.
Yes, but I feel like that was like New Orleans. I can't even say it. New Orleans. That's how I say it.
Yeah.
New Orleans. I feel like they really like it's that the French style, legit,
Yeah,
like the French
exactly
style.
It's
yeah,
the French.
And I feel like that's what the Victorian era kind of like played on.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Like I'm looking at the insides and every detail is so intricate.
We cannot talk today.
So it's really great. I mean, it's giving old vibes. It's vintage. It's creepy. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, like looking through the pictures, like you can tell it once was beautiful.
So what happened?
So it was built in 1878. Long time ago. And it was made famous by the Lindbergh kidnapping trial.
Which we're going to cover soon.
Yes.
And just a little side note for the listeners, oftentimes, more than not, you and I don't tell these stories. So these are our first true times hearing these stories from one another. So I can't wait to tell you what I know about the Lindberghs, and you can tell me about Union Hotel, because I did not get into that at all.
Okay. Well, I'm happy that you didn't get into it. So it was made famous, right, by the Lindbergh trial because the Union Hotel, it was essentially a gathering place for reporters and all of those curious by the trials.
So we would have been there.
We would have, because the courthouse is like right across the street from it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the Courthouse Square.
Gotcha. So it's all like downtown in this little town.
Yeah, like it's all over. And I keep on hitting my mic. I'm so sorry. And so the trial was involving Richard Hauptmann, which I didn't get into it, but it was involving Richard Hauptmann and Charles Lindbergh, whose baby son was kidnapped. So I'll let you go into that later.
Right. And I can't wait. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So the Union Hotel was the beginning of the village of Flemington in the 18th century and left off in 1809 with Neil Hart as owner of what was known as the House of Neil Hart in Flemington. So it went through various owners after Neil Hart. It was like a tavern and everything. It was sold and then it was turned into other things, a hotel, and then a bar and restaurant basically. So decades later, the property was purchased by new owners, renovated and restored and converted into what's now officially known as the Union Hotel Restaurant.
So it's still operating?
It is not.
Okay.
It is not. But I will get into that here in a minute. So it closed its doors, I believe, in 2008. And like it didn't allow any more like outsiders to come in. And it's still like, I believe it's the second story that's still blocked off from people. Like when it was open, the upstairs was not accessible to the public.
Interesting.
And those pictures that you did see, I'm assuming like you saw like the paint falling off and like the claw tub and everything. That is the second floor.
Well, I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that people in this historic town is not keeping up on this historic building, right? That's a huge deal in any town to preserve what history it has. So the fact that
Right.
they're not doing it.
So it was actually going to be torn down. So they wanted to tear down this hotel and make way from what allegedly from what I read, the city wanted to tear it down. I don't know what the contractors or whoever comes in to like build new buildings, they wanted to do that. They wanted to make like a really nice parking garage, et cetera, et cetera. New residents for incoming like people who wanted to live in Flemington, but they were able to keep the historic building up because everybody was like, no, this is a piece of our history. No, we're not going to do that. So it's still up. And fun fact, it's a part of a ghost walk on a ghost tour.
I've always wanted to do that.
Right. And I wanted to do one in New Orleans because I hear that they have the best ghost walks and tours.
Like all these historic towns, and this really is what reminds. So I'm thinking Charleston, Savannah, New Orleans, like
Right.
all of those. It really is mirroring what we're looking at here at the Union Hotel. So what kind of creepy things are going on? Because there's a reason why they haven't kept it up for business, right? Everybody loves, and it's in the downtown square, so it has to offer a good amount of traffic
Right.
there. So what is going on?
Okay, so again, the second and third floor, which actually housed patrons and hotel goers, right, were left empty and unoccupied, adding to the growth of, I'm assuming, the myths around like what's going on in this hotel. Like, because everything is empty, kind of led to, right, like we talk about rumors having some sort of truth, so it kind of like led to that. The former employees of the Union Hotel, so allegedly there was a variety of paranormal happenings going on. According to one waitress, she heard an otherworldly voice humming a lullaby while she was carrying a registered drawer upstairs to an office. She dropped the drawer and ran out and never returned. Allegedly, the manager says she once felt a presence in the room with her at about 8 a.m., pressed her up against her chest, making it difficult to breathe, but was kind enough to leave when she asked.
That was nice.
That was nice.
I'm glad that we have boundaries.
Boundaries that
Yeah, I would be happy not meeting you at all, but I'm glad you're
right.
nice.
Right. So the Union Hotel obviously operated as a bar and restaurant. So a former manager who asked, according to the source, was anonymous, told them that one night after closing, a bouncer locked the front doors and then returned to the bar, where a few of the staff were sitting around having a drink, and suddenly the doors that were locked flew open. Like, what's going on, basically. And did you hear my stomach growl? That was pretty aggressive.
I haven't had dinner yet either. I did not hear it though.
I mean, if they could hear the recording, it would have been perfect because it did sound like a growling.
Sound like a growl. Yeah.
It did. So, and a cold wind swept past them, basically. And when the bouncer went back to check, there was nothing. He did see, though, a disembodied pair of children's shoes walking up the stairway.
Okay. Okay. And I can imagine where this is going.
Yep. He freaked out, as anyone would, I would assume, and ran across the street. And then he called the other coworkers and told everyone to get out of the hotel, basically. I was like, oh, that's dramatic.
Yeah, I would probably do the same. Like, I'd be like, everybody get the hell out of there. It is haunted. Yeah, I would not go back. I would be looking for a new job.
Yeah, I mean,
you're way more comfortable.
I wouldn't say that, but it would make for good content.
Yeah, it would make for a really good TikTok.
A really good one. So another time, a manager stated that one of the waitress was carrying a register door. So again, this story was repeated.
Money.
Yeah. And so according to this manager, based on that story, she never returned, like ever came back or stepped foot into that hotel ever again.
I don't blame her, but you know what I'm thinking already? Like, this reminds me of the alley. Because
yeah,
when the owner would be in there by himself, he was like counting money, doing all this stuff. That's when activity would kind of start to come up. And that murder was revolving around money.
Yeah. I mean,
as is the one that we're kind of getting into. Everybody will hear soon how it revolves around money. Money is the root of all evil. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
Do you think inflation exists in the afterlife?
I sure as fuck hope not. I mean,
because that could explain the money.
I really hope not. I mean, but money is a driving factor, I feel like, on 90% of our stories.
It really is. Because, I mean, listen, we need money to live. I always joke and say, I breathe and I owe $1,000.
We have to pay to die.
Right. And if money is an issue in the afterlife, just take me out completely.
Yeah. Just be done with it.
I don't even want to be a orb.
Not if it's expensive. If it's not in my budget, don't even sign me up.
Unless I can be like an orb coming as like a disco ball, maybe.
Yes. Interesting. So just kind of a thought immediately popped in my head was the alley and the money, but what else?
So there's just like a whole bunch of, like, we heard voices in this room, we heard voices in that room, we've seen people going up and down the stairs, but also there's from what I read on here, the child is connected to the story that you are going to tell.
Yeah, and it totally makes sense. So are you ready to kind of hear what I dug up?
Yeah, I am.
All right, so we're going to be super vintage. I love antiques and vintage. Like, we're going all the way black and white, right?
And when we say vintage for these teenagers and younger 20s, we don't mean 1990s.
Nah, we're talking like 1930s.
Right.
So
wanted to clear that up.
Yeah. I mean, because my son, who's 8, will literally be like, you were born in the 1900s? Yes, I was. Thank you.
Right. Liliana asked if we had phones back in my day.
Well, not cell phones, but
I was like, how old do you think I am?
Right. So let's go to 1932. And this is in the beginning of March. And A child of Charles and Anne Lindbergh was kidnapped right out of their home in New Jersey, and the kidnapper left this bizarre ransom note demanding 50K. No big deal, just a little 50K.
Who does that sound like? John Benet
Oh,
Ramsey?
yeah, completely.
Hmm.
So, just to put some things in perspective, 50K in 1932 is equivalent to 1.12 million today, roughly.
What the hell you need that kind of money for?
Exactly. And this is in the peak of the Great Depression. So asking for that much money, I'm like, greedy. Okay, everybody's struggling here. You could have asked for a little
Greedy.
less. Right. So the Lindbergh family is quite upscale. They are quite of status. Now, Charles Lindbergh, dad, who we'll call Daddy Chuck sometimes because baby is also Charles Lindbergh. So he's handsome, very good looking guy, well respected man. Now, his dad actually worked in Congress too. So I'm sure there's a ton of deep government ties. And he was
Right.
also a pilot. So
Oh,
yeah,
fancy.
so very uppity. Now, there's some articles that I came across that said the family was experiencing some financial hardships, and I kind of find that interesting because I understand that it's the Great Depression, but I would consider them current day as part of the 1%.
Okay. I mean, I
And
would
not only
assume.
Yeah, like not only that, his wife Anne, so Mrs. Lindbergh, come from the family who partnered with JP Morgan. So this is not, I mean, dude, they had nurses working in the nursery for the babies. I mean, they had butlers, they had servants, they had all this stuff. So I'm having a little bit of,
50K.
yeah,
50K
right.
is like $5.
I would not consider them having a rough time.
Right.
So now that we have this whole family picture painted, let's get back to the kidnapping that rocked the century. So on March 1st, around 9 p.m., on the second floor, baby Charles was taken right from his room, and that's where the ransom note was found. So this note has buku grammatical errors. It's really sloppy. There's like smudge prints on there. It's just really weird.
Okay.
So the family immediately starts acting. Let's find out where this baby is, who did it. Daddy Chuck grabs the gun, searches the property, alerting the butlers, and already there's a shit ton of hands in this pot. So while they're high in status and what I consider wealthy, there's got to be a lot of helpers that have access to the baby and kids. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not just in and out of the house, but they're seeing these kids probably more than you, right?
Right. I mean, if you think about it, these helpers are taking care of your kid more than you.
And by midnight that night, they had multiple friends gathering evidence. Friends like lawyers and law officials, right? So I'm like, step back and let the FBI or the New Jersey State Police do their job. So
Mm-hmm.
that right away, I was like, okay, I get that everybody's panicking, but you don't need to be collecting evidence, right?
No.
So this is a huge deal, and multiple people are stewing, looking for answers. Frankie Roosevelt, the president at the time, he tags in the FBI. They even had military aid offering to help. Okay, now
That never
with
happens.
with all due respectfully, let me be an asshole. Okay, I love
Please.
that help for baby Charles. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm kind of pissy the fact that Shannon, Krista, Kristen, Candy, Summer, Tanya, all of them,
Mm-hmm.
they they would have loved to have this attention on their case, and
Right.
especially the family, right?
But what did we say in last week's episode? If you ain't got the status and
If
you
you're not
ain't got the
status,
money, you don't
yep.
matter.
I mean, baby Charles was even on the cover of Time magazine.
Okay, I get it. Like, all right, appreciate it, right? But
Hmm.
come on.
Right. And so I'm like, is this equivalent to the royal family? Because the
Right.
royal family would have this attention too.
Right. You
So
would just, yeah.
you'd have to. So people are allegedly saying that they were approached about a planned kidnapping. One woman who worked for the family even ended up killing herself due to being questioned 4 times. So people are devilish, we know this, and doing the most to get a buck. Strangers are helping raise awareness and put up money for this baby.
Right.
And Lynn unofficially later becomes a suspect. Well, he was like trying to help, and I think he got more involved. So his name is Mr. Condon, and we'll talk about him a little bit. But he and Violet, that's the girl who killed herself,
Okay.
have big mad targets on them because they both acted odd. Like Violet's story first didn't add up, and she was questioned so many times. Just her whole demeanor allegedly was really off.
So this story, can I say this? The story really, really relates to John Benet Ramsey.
Well, and wouldn't it be crazy if John Benet's perpetrator followed the steps of this story?
Right. Because you have the ransom note.
Wealth, status, that's there.
Whole bunch of friends and family and loved ones were searching the home, contaminating the crime scene.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this guy Condon, he's a hotshot in the Bronx, right? He's very
Hmm.
well known. He was a teacher, but it appears like he just had a lot of connections. How? I don't know,
Okay.
but he's quite the socialite. So he's doing the most trying to get info, trying to get evidence, trying to really figure out what happened with this baby. Because the baby's still missing, right?
Hmm.
This is going on months now. Baby's still missing. So he ends up meeting with this so called Scandinavian group that has 2 guys and a woman. And they claim to Mr. Condon to have the baby unharmed, but they still want the money. They can prove that they have a baby by sending his sleeper to him. Sure as shit. Weeks later, Condon receives the sleeper. So Condon puts out an article saying pretty much like, hey, and this is an article in the newspaper because remember, this is 1932. Like, we
Okay.
don't have all the means of putting it on Facebook. So,
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton,
Lady Whistledown. Hello.
I don't know that.
Oh, Krista.
What?
You don't know what Bridgerton is? The
I mean, it's a
Netflix
show.
show?
Never watched it.
They do Lady Whistledown. It's like
Okay.
a newspaper that they like it's like an article that has
Yeah,
all of, like, the gossip. That's what I, like, relate this to.
pretty much.
Mhm.
So Condon puts out this article saying, like, hey, we just met. Money's ready. There's no cops. It's just me. So ultimately, the ransom money was collected and put into this custom wooden box with very specific bills and gold certificates for people who allegedly had the baby, right? So they put
Mhm.
this box out there and hopes that someone would pick it up and it being the perpetrators. Now, let's jump up to May 12th.
Okay.
Under 5 miles from the family home, a truck driver jumps out to take a pee and finds the baby of Charles Augustus Lindbergh, who, when found, the coroner believes he'd been dead for roughly 2 months and died to a blow to the head. So, if he was kidnapped March 1st and they're saying that he died roughly 2 months ago and he was found in May, they killed him pretty early on.
They killed him, like, right away. They would have to.
Would have to. If the autopsy is correct and the coroner
Mhm.
is spot on, right. So now what, right? Well, good people who followed the story stayed vigilant about the money and its circulation. September 1934, so this is 2 years roughly, a bank teller noticed one of the gold tickets being used. Then a gas station attendant noticed a man acting weird and reported it. So 2 people reported it. They're saying, hey, we think we got the person who took the ransom money, all of that. Well, the arrest of Richard Hauptmann,
Hauptmann? I always said Hopsm I don't
Hauptmann,
know.
Hauptmann.
Hauptmann?
So now we're British, but he's actually German. So
Hachten.
yes, something like, yeah, pretty much right on. So he's actually an immigrant from Germany with a criminal rap sheet. So he's found with gold certificates and about $14,000 at his house. And other evidence like John Condon's address, phone number, all of that. How can you deny that? Like, you're in the Great Depression. Who has 14 grand?
Especially somebody like him.
Yeah, and so Richard also lived in the Bronx, side note.
Well, so this is back in New York.
Right. So during the interrogation, they beat the shit out of him pretty good that very first night. And I can't really hate on him for that. So he says all of this stuff was found at his home was actually his business partner, Isidore Frisch, who passed away. But Hatman just kept the money because he thought it was owed to him from his business partner. How you get out of that, there's really no way. But then I'm thinking, so Scandinavia, do they have a similar accent to German?
I don't know. I've never met somebody Scandinavian.
Because if you go back to John Condon, how he met with those people, there was 2 males and a woman. Well, Richard, Isidore, and Richard was married. Like, his wife lived a long life up until like 95 years old. So she
His
could have
wife?
been in on it. Yeah. Because when Condon first met with these people who, quote unquote, had the baby, they were Scandinavian and there was 2 males and a woman. So maybe a coincidence. I don't know.
And let's be real, like, police investigation, crime scene investigation has came a long way, and they didn't have the resources that we do now. Like, those are literally relatively new. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they botched this investigation too, and they're like, well, here, we're going on clues, Sherlock Holmes.
They're still really looking into it. As
Really?
DNA, as things progress, like as resources expand, there are different studies going on to see if they can link it more to a bigger story. Because while we're still looking into it, Hauptmann's trial began in January 1935, and as you can imagine, it blew up, right? They're all in the downtown square. They're heading to the bar down at the Union, the whole deal. So he was found guilty of murder in the first degree and sentenced to death by electrocution, in which he did get on April 3rd, 1936 at a New Jersey state prison. Okay, so you've grieved, the baby's missing, America's sad over it. We found him, he's executed, we're done, right? No. Because
There's more?
there's always 2 sides to every story. So I go ahead and start digging around a little bit more. And I just want to know more details because something's just not right.
Right.
Professor Lloyd Gardner of Rutgers University adds a bit of a twist to this story as he's worked on it for over a decade. Now, when I first looked into this story, I'm like, they had 13 kids, right? Charles and Anne. And then I kept going and was like, no, they had 6 kids. Whatever. Well, that's because there's conflicting information. Why? Do you know why? Because
Why?
Daddy Chuck Lindbergh was getting around with other women and had additionally 7 other kids, even by a set of sisters.
That's the 1930s Nick Cannon.
Pretty much exactly. Yeah. But he was doing it with all intent to spreading his good genes.
Legit the 1930s Nick Cannon.
Legit.
My God.
Now, he wanted to spread... Go ahead.
Hear me out. What if Charles Lindbergh is reincarnated as now Nick Cannon? This is like his...
That could be.
I mean, it's far-fetched, right? Like, whatever.
But, well, we're going to start learning more about past lives, so we can look into that for sure. So I just kind of got that like cocky, like beat my chest vibe. Like, I'm spreading my good genes to all
Okay.
of these, what, you know what I mean? And I'm like, whatever, bro.
What are you overcompensating for?
Well, he's got money. He's a pilot. He was never really with his kids. I did see that he was never really with them because he was a pilot and he was sleeping around with God knows who.
He's overcompensating.
Right. So while he was so hyper focused on these good genes, it was said that baby Charles was a little bit special. It's alleged that he had a form of dwarfism and needed continuous vitamin A injections. So Daddy Chuck hid this and demanded house staff keep this condition undercovered. Because I know you know, but back in the day, anything out
It's
of the norm, forget about it.
well, yeah, individuals with disabilities have it's just been like very recently they've just gained rights.
Well, they would either be killed or locked up. I mean, someone with
Institution
schizophrenia,
yeah.
right? So there's a lot of different articles that say, the baby had an enlarged skull. I didn't really see it in the pictures, but there was concerns about the legs and all of this. And
Mm,
I'm just like, okay. And people needed money. So for them to plot a kidnapping and reap the rewards is not really that uncommon, says Professor Gardner. So as he's done all this research, he has really skewed away from saying that the dad had anything to do with it. But I'll just read you kind of the last paragraph in the article or the study that was done by the study that was done by Rutgers. And it says, while Gardner says that for a long time he fought in his own mind against the idea of Lindbergh's involvement, he thinks the kidnapping went too far and that his child died on the rainy and windy night of the abduction from his home in Hopewell, New Jersey on March 1st, 1932. That date also marks the first time that Lindbergh inadvertently missed a public speaking engagement. He'd come home from New York City where he had worked instead of going to dinner where he was to speak. Was it merely a coincidence or did he choose to facilitate the kidnapping? Maybe by diverting attention from the boy's second floor bedroom or as a lookout to allow the abductor or abductors to escape back down the staircase.
I can see it being both.
Yeah.
I can see it being okay, yes, it's a kidnapping. Mom doesn't know about it, and dad facilitated it because dad has great genes, right? And he wants to spread his great seed. But if he has this child, right, with unfortunately a disability, and it's seen back in the day as a negative thing. It's, they didn't see it as a positive thing, right? I can see him, okay, this child needs to be gone because he's going to cause an issue for me.
Not only that, but earlier on, I said that I come across some articles of them having financial issues.
Hmm.
So while they were well off, who's to say how far in debt they were? And it's like one of 13 kids got to go. Like we have to do this to get a ransom to, get all this money that was raised by people. So 1 out of 13 knock 7 off because wife might not know about them. And then out of the 1 through 6, you're going to pick the baby that has something wrong, like you said. And then 2, I'm looking at the demographics. I'm like, okay, so we're in New York, New Jersey. Boom. I think of the freaking mob right away. Right away.
Yeah, because I mean, that was when the mob was like huge.
Prevalent. And then I think of the government. We all know the government does inside jobs. Okay, well, his dad was
Corrupt.
part of the government. And then we're in the Great Depression. So just so much that goes on there. And I will always say, I think that there's a little bit of truth behind almost every rumor. And I think he had something to do with it, Lee. That's my opinion.
After you told me that, oh, yeah, and we always said there's one fall guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
always one fall guy because okay, you got your money. Guess what? You're gonna be the one to take most of the blame.
And Condon was in on it too. So because he met with the people. Like, how did you just meet with these? So many questions around that. I'm like, why are you such a socialite? You're a retired teacher. Teachers are great, love them, but they're typically not in the 1% high status.
No, because if that was the case, I would be a teacher.
Thank you. Instead, we're podcasters.
Right.
So, yeah, just really interesting and it aligns so well. I didn't even think about John Bonet that much. But her case is down in history and we'll never did her dad have something? We will never know.
No, and she was on magazines. She was on, I mean, Dr. Phil.
Yep.
I don't know, but I have one serious question to ask you.
What?
What do you think his last meal was?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So he's German. So I'm going to go with pork and sauerkraut.
Is pierogies?
Oh, pierogies. Yeah, that's German.
Pierogies and maybe I don't know. I don't know.
How do we find, let's see.
I always find it interesting looking at the last meal of inmates who were on death row that were executed. Like Ted Bundy.
What did he eat? Do you know?
I don't know, but I know the one, I think it was, I want to call him Bobo the Clown.
Right.
John Wayne Gacy.
Gacy, yeah.
I think his was like lobster or something. I could be wrong. I
don't even know what I would pick for the last one.
You want to know what I would pick?
What?
Just because I've been craving it. Like, it sounds phenomenal right now.
What?
Shrimp cocktail.
Well, we just had that for New Year's.
It sounds so good.
So this is what Lindbergh had. Or I'm sorry, this is what Hauptmann had. He opted for chicken, buttered peas, french fries, olives, celery, cherries, and a slice of cake. Dude, forget about it. Forget about it. I mean, fucking lame.
I mean, throw me some king crab, some lobster, a lobster roll, some black truffle caviar. Do you think there's
Yeah, there is. There is.
Is there?
So they give you options, but it's limited. And I just say that because when I just looked to see what his was, most people pick what's the most requested meal on death row? 2 chicken fried steaks. Yeah, it's like random stuff.
Oh, I figured like, okay, because I've heard like there's some people who have picked like lobster. And I'm pretty sure John Wayne Gacy, and now this is bothering me.
It's KFC. I just saw his.
Oh, KFC. Okay, because I was like, I want to say, and then hold on. It got really quiet. Okay, so you want to know Ted Bundy's?
What?
His last meal consisted of steak, cooked medium rare.
Okay.
That's how I like my steak.
Same.
Eggs over easy. I like my eggs like that too.
It's okay.
Or poached. Hash browns. Really?
Down with hash browns.
Toast with butter, jelly, milk, and juice. Hand me a freaking Coke Zero. Or a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Have you had the strawberries cream Dr. Pepper?
Yes, so good.
That's like a little snackerdoodle after Pennifer.
I love that. See, but they don't make a Coke. They don't make it like a zero option for that. So it's no, but that's all we drink in this house. So we don't do regular anything. And when we do regular, our kids hate it because they're like, this tastes really syrupy. And so when we bought it, it was like super thick. And it took us a little bit to drink that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
that's all that I have on the Lindbergh family.
I love it.
Wrapped up that, Richard's responsible for the murder. Dad got away scotch-free. I don't know what happened to the gold certificates. I don't know. I would be curious to know where all the money went that they redeemed.
Back to the government.
Probably.
Back to the government because Dad's dead now. Dad's long gone.
I would say that they probably all are.
Yeah.
This is, for sure, because
Dad's been dead for decades.
Dead.
Your dad is dead.
Yeah. So that's all that I have. I'm excited to do. Where are we going next week?
We're staying in New Jersey.
New Jersey. And what are we covering? Is it a paranormal?
Mm-hmm.
Is it with the big man?
The big man and the big man downstairs.
Okay. Yikes. Yeah, I'm down with it. But
and I ain't talking about Santa Claus.
Santa's out.
Santa's out.
So let's play a little game for crime and chaos. It's the chaos segment.
I feel like a DJ with these on. You know what? We need to use that as our chaos like introduction song.
Why was I wicketing my headphones? It's supposed to be done. I'm the worst. Did someone just drive by? Did you hear a car drive by?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're popular.
So, all right. Do you want to explain the game and how we're going to do it?
We're going to get really weird. It's going to be the where
Let's
segment.
get weird. Okay. So, wow.
I felt like MC Hammer.
All right. I'll make a face and you make the sound. Okay.
Okay. And we both go?
So I'll make a face. I'll give you like an example and then I'll go 1, 2, 3 and you make the sound and I make the face the second time.
Okay. Okay.
You ready? Here's your glimpse.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Did I just get electrocuted? Did I just get electrocuted? Okay. I'm going to do my second one. Okay. You ready?
Oh my God. We're not going to last.
We do 3 each.
Okay. I'm going to cry. It's so beautiful.
All right.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Hey.
You guys.
Hey, you guys.
I've never seen that movie. I've watched some of it, but I'm like, click. It's no.
The Goonies.
The Boonies.
The Goonies.
Oh, the Goonies. Yeah, nah.
They never die.
Really?
Yeah.
How do I get to be a Goonie?
You want to live forever? I don't want to live forever. That sounds miserable.
Oh God, I do. It sounds like a good time.
No, not unless I can be rich.
All right, you ready for my third face?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Am I taking a power shit? What?
They're gonna be like, what are these?
They've lost it.
They've lost it. And what are these guys on? Literally Dunkin' vanilla coffee.
I'm ghosting it.
Oh, see, I had the new flavor. Well, I don't know if it's new.
Purple?
It's called the Electric Limeade. And it was the EDC 2024. And I'm like,
yeah, I had it. It's good.
It was too sweet. I will say that. Yeah. And it wasn't carbonated enough. I need a little
You need a little fizz to you.
Yeah, I need a little put the hair on your chest. Like, that was spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like my fizz like that.
I like it.
I like feeling like I'm being electrocuted.
Well, we nailed that.
Nailed that. Sure. Well, Richard Hauptman.
Yeah. Did I just get out of the chair? God, I could have had my meal. Let's see your face.
Okay. Oh God, I'm gonna suck at these. Okay. 1. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay. 1, 2. All right.
Okay, that was number 1.
Okay, I gotta think of another one. Okay. All right. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. 1, 2.
You got electrocuted. You just got electrocuted too. You just got electrocuted. It happened. We're both done for. Okay. 1 more.
All right. Okay. 1, 2.
Well, I gotta see the face.
Shoot. Okay.
Give me a peek.
Oh my goodness. All right. Hold on. Let me put this down.
Oh, geez. Shit's getting real.
This thing's not gonna stay.
Get physical.
How does it go?
You know what the doctor said? Okay. Oh my God. This is gonna be scary. I cannot. I'm so glad we do video, for the love of it. Okay. 1, 2. Serotonin rush. We love that.
Who says our cortisol is high over here?
No, I'm feeling great.
Oh, that hurt. I have a red mark now.
You about ripped that damn face off, sister. So, things to look forward to. In New Jersey, we're going to do a paranormal, and then we have a very suspicious death that we're going to go over of a very young girl, and it's kind of a recent story, so we will be very tender on that one. But other things to look forward to is continuing on video.
More chaos, more shit shows.
Some in-person, maybe a live event,
More sexy faces.
Yes.
And very, very pleasurable sounds.
Clearly. So until next time, have the day you deserve.
Or don't.
Love you, bye.
Peace.